I started the third day of my Southwest road trip with breakfast at Barista del Barrio in northwest Tucson. This is a tiny little coffee shop and breakfast burrito place tucked into a quiet neighborhood. Even so, the line was all the way out to the street and even a little bit down the street. This place has excellent coffee and the burritos are just something else. All of their decorations have plenty of character, and the locals take it all in while they wait for their breakfast. Though I don't think I will ever understand why somebody puts a motion sensing camera system inside a tree so it could blow around in the wind. After waiting patiently, I enjoyed my breakfast and then hit the road to head back west. So far, this trip has been really kind of aimless. Not being able to go up the Pacific Coast Highway because of the weather, I just decided to head east. That took me into Arizona. I considered heading over to Tombstone and then maybe up into the mountains and over into New Mexico. But the rain that I had been running from since landing in Los Angeles had caught up to me in the night, and it was drizzling. East of me, this drizzle and light rain had become snow. So instead, I decided to face all of the weather and make my way up to Lake Havasu, and then perhaps up into Nevada. Heading back west, I was going back into the weather. Today would bring long bouts of riding through light rain and heavy rain and drizzle and plenty of cold and dreary skies. Still, the R18 is a fantastic motorcycle for this kind of riding. The screen providing just enough protection that it's okay, the engine providing just enough warmth that you are not miserable with the cold. And the R18 really does handle itself well in weather like this and on roads like these. It has a presence that is really confidence-inspiring. It's easy to maneuver in and out of traffic, and comfortable enough to eat up mile after mile. For riding purposes, today's ride was largely uneventful. A lot of highway miles, a lot of trucks just like these, so I'm not going to share quite as much about day 3. I did have some success with the Insta360 camera, capturing some fairly dramatic video just riding through the rain along the Arizona highways. Here's a couple minutes of that, put to some pretty interesting music that I think really reflected the zen of this moment. As the day pressed on, I found myself on smaller highways making my way across the state. I stopped at a tiny little gas station with a gas pump that was completely unreadable. No idea what quality this gas was. No idea how much water is in the tank, if any at all. But it was the last gas station that I was going to get to on this tank since I was already getting down to my reserve. After fueling up, I continued my ride towards Lake Havasu. I wound up arriving in Lake Havasu well after dark. Most of the day's ride had not been very entertaining. It was more of a slog than an enjoyable ride, though the Arizona desert is beautiful. The straight roads are not. Getting closer to Lake Havasu, though, you get into more mountainous, windy roads that were fantastic. Unfortunately, I was not able to really enjoy it as much as I'd hoped because it was well into the night. I'll start day 4 by backtracing a little bit of this route, just so I could see what I've missed on my way into Lake Havasu. Oh, one thing about Lake Havasu, you do get a beautiful view of London Bridge.